With Season 3 of ReZero now live this October, I decided to refresh myself on what's going on in the world of Natsuki Subaru. It feels like it's been forever since we had ReZero on air, and then I realized that's because it has been. Season 1 aired when I was still in high school, and Season 2 landed right at the beginning of COVID. Meanwhile, over in the JJK universe, we've had 2 seasons, a movie, and lost half the cast since then. Coming off a summer of some amazing seasonals, I was running a bit short on time before Season 3 of ReZero began, and almost made a terrible mistake. That mistake, ladies and gentlemen, would be watching a summary. If there's anything you take away from today's video, is that you should re-watch ReZero in its entirety before continuing with Season 3. I actually didn't realize how much of the anime I'd forgotten until being slapped in the face by Peak right from episode 1. ReZero focuses so much on the plot and Subaru's interactions with different characters that an online or video summary just doesn't do the anime justice. Because Subaru's choices each time he returns from death can drastically change events, there's a ton of detail poured into even just the verbiage he uses. There are multiple scenes where his relationships with different characters are altered from his mannerisms or subtle changes to the wording in his conversations that could even result in a trip back to the gulag if he's not careful. This nuance is clearly present when he first visits Roswell's mansion and is trying to survive through the 4th night, one of the first gut-wrenching checkpoints he experiences. There is one thing that is inevitable, however. The NPC-3, as I call them, that he continuously meets in the alleyway. One of the best parts of the first arc is just watching him interact with these cookie-cutter moron thugs over and over again. It feels like no matter what choices he makes, he has to stumble across them multiple times and their dialogue hardly changes. As we move along through the season, we see Subaru come across his first obstacle he can't just unalive himself to avoid. While the court scene and subsequent fallout with Emilia is extremely cringy to watch, I think it's pretty important to re-experience. Subaru has to face himself and answer Emilia's question. Why is he pushing himself to the brink, doing anything to be Emilia's savior? He can't answer her question, and it's not just because he isn't able to tell her about Return from Death and the subsequent parallel timelines he's experienced with her. It's because he's selfish. I'm going to stop here to prevent this from becoming just a summary of Season 1, which I previously said that you should avoid watching. I really just wanted to gloss over some of what makes this anime so special, and why you should re-watch it instead of just trying to do a quick refresher. If you're like me and forgot almost everything, there's probably already some content in this video that jogged your memory, and hopefully you feel enticed to spend the extra time to really experience ReZero again. I'm going to be continuing with Season 2 as well, so I'm probably going to end up being a week or 2 behind from Season 3 by the time I'm caught up, if I can continue this troglodyte pace I'm watching at. If you've made it this far in the video, hopefully I've convinced you to hold off on the hype and call into work to binge Seasons 1 and 2 with me. Stay tuned for future videos, and cheers to Season 4 before 2028.